What's going on? Man, there's been a trend I've been seeing lately, man. It's just like, I remember not too long ago I was talking about the wickedness of women, and I was giving kind of like biblical examples of like women and their stubbornness and their connivingness and their like Willie Lynchery, where they want to like effeminate and attack the male, the head. They want to, it's kind of like cut off the nose to spite your face, because it's like, this false feminism. It doesn't exist. It's like a bubble, man, like a stock market bubble. It only exists in this scientific engineered culture that's kind of propped up and kind of fake. And it's to disempower us, not empower us. But anyway, it's like lately I have seen a whirlwind of women that were conniving, like stubborn, just against their man, using their kid as pawns, like just lying and cheating and just, and this is, look, I know it takes two to tango, and it doesn't mean everybody in all situations on the other side is like innocent, you know what I mean, of everything, but maybe they're not as guilty as what was going on the other side. But I'm not going to give names and all that, but I'm not even joking. I've seen like boom, 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 like people, like women going down. But these are, it's kind of like people that you would say, man, I know they had that coming. Recently, man, and it's like the judgment, man, is upon like the wickedness of everyone, but especially the Jezebelian and Willie lynched, hyper feminist, man hater situation, and even the systems of that used to help prop up this phony feminism, like to help the single parent family, like to help them along, so like they didn't have to just tighten up and just be a good woman, instead of trying to manipulate and control and use the kid as a weapon, and just being stubborn and being counterproductive, like working all week and then you're stealing money for crack behind your back, type of situations. It's like no one can ever move forward in that, dude. It's kind of like, like I hear people making, like, saying, oh, you're just spinning in circles and going nowhere. But the sling, like David and Goliath, that rock, man, swings in a circle, and 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 then you let it go at the last quarter, and then it flies in a straight freaking line. You know what I'm saying? And you use these loops. Once you bust through your loops, your frequent repeating traumas, your patterns and cycles that you've brought upon yourself, and it's kind of like in the past maybe, but you're given another opportunity to bust free at the last corner. See, if you try to do it wrong, it's just like slingshotting something, dude. If you let go way too early or too late, it doesn't fly like it should, and it comes out blasting. So you might hit someone behind you, you might bust some glass, it might go, it's counterproductive. It's unfortunate, because all that momentum, that opportunity's wasted, and then you gotta reload and then freaking swing again. But it's like these are opportunities, man, with us, especially when you do the dance, man, where two people are interlocked in their pride and they just can't let it go. It's like you can use that as a slingshot opportunity, kind of like a keto, or it's kind of like, look, you also, like, when the one person's being an aggressor and a bully and an intimidator and abuser, and they're used to you standing there so they can push on you and just run up and push you, and freaking you push back, right? But one of these days, it's like they come to push you and they expect you routinely to just take it, and instead you just step out of the way and they just go flying. But it was you that brought this upon yourself. It's like the spirit of Saul, man, just will not, like terminators, are just like pride, like wounded narcissists, man, bruised egos, just rampant exploitation, abuse. Like, look, like the systems like nowadays they're fine. Like a lot of times now the system's working against the mothers because they're not even willing to play their role anymore. Like once they're confronted and they get their it's kind of like they're using the kids and I'm this victim as a prop to gain sympathy from all kinds of people, man. And but once that's yanked away and you see it was an illusion and that these people are delusional and they're just fucking master manipulators, dude, that are only concerned with themselves. And everyone is just cannon fodder around them, right? I mean, and look, it's like, man, I should really call somebody, man. I should really intervene. And it's like, no, man. It's like, just sometimes you just stay out of their way and you say, yep, yes, ma'am, and then you get out of there and you just keep letting them do. Yep, I'll see what I can do. Yes, and then, but look, you it's like, look, I'm not gonna enable you. Anything you ask me to do, that's enablement. I ain't about that. I ain't with that. So look, I ain't gonna argue with about it and explain myself and just defend myself why I can't enable you. So it's like, yep, and you just watch these people go, man. And it's the same thing like the slingshot, dude. Like the same thing when you spin in this. It's like doing donuts in a car in a parking lot that is just full of vehicles, and it's like doing donuts in the winter, and you're like just doing these donuts, just whipping and smashing into everything around, man. Like that's kind of how these people operate, and it just I just can't believe they just cannot help but push it. Like they push this thing to the envelope, falls off the freaking table, and they just cannot help themselves. But it's like what goes around comes around, and you reap what you sow. So, and the more you say, the more it can be used against you. And these people love to talk and abuse you with their speech, man, and they just will not let it go. And it's like they got an excuse and a million excuses and a reason for everything they do wrong to make it almost sound like it was right, the right thing to do, or it was your fault that this happened. And it's like, yeah, that it's like they get away with it, like for a long time, dude, like for so long. But then one day, it's like their magic totally wore off and returned to sender, and all of a sudden they're in big freaking trouble, and they just don't realize it yet. It's like they got stuck in Wile E. Coyote mode, and it's like they're standing over the cliff, and you're like, please come out of the clouds, please come back to the rock, man, get out of the sky, and look, and they just go, and then they go, and then you hear in the background. Um, and I've seen, and this isn't like cut nobody down, put nobody down. It's sad. It is a horrible waste of of opportunities, like lives, and it's like that's the thing. Someone, this Wile E. Coyote who's after me, is someone's family member. It's someone that people love them, and they're deceived and they're distracted, and they're they're not thinking clearly. They're obviously they didn't get enough attention as children, and they're so needy for this almost fetish like control, where expectations, where everything needs to be perfect, like you ever seen that show Bridezilla, where the girls on their wedding day, like I seen this one recently where this girl started tripping and freaking and having a spaz, like she needed a fix, like an emotional fix real quick, and she had this spaz, and then she started punching on this girl, and then the skinny girl just beat the crap out of her, dude. And it was like right before her wedding. It was like, oh, but that's pride cometh before a fall, man. It's like humble thyself. It's like um be eager, man, to work together, man, to be cohesive and not coercive, man, and be willing to just, man, not be heard at times, man, listen, and instead of like trying to be forceful and like dominate through like indirect domination. So it just being so all caught up in the image and the vanity and the vain show, man, and acting freaking and pretending as if it isn't what it is. But we know what's going on, and in time, all things even done in the dark will come into the light, man. And we've been told this. And it's sometimes people forget that. They get so caught in the role, they get away with it for so long, but and it's like you're stuck like that now. But once they get exposed, it's like all their power just is like just snatched from them. And it's like literally, it's like watching that movie with the vampire that's getting hit in the sunlight and they're going or on the Wizard of Oz when the witch gets the water thrown on her and they're like uh it's really it's messed up. But it's like, I mean, literally, like people are dying. Like women are overdosing, men are overdosing, people are shooting themselves. Uh, like people are like just just so toxic, and they're just oblivious to their own it's like it's kind of like people who keep eating a little bit of poison eventually can develop immunity to these kind of poisons, but it's not without a side effect, you know what I'm saying, like but it's just people are so stuck in their habitual like cycle of abuse, this love bombing, oh you're the best in the world, all this flattery, then this kind of like you're the best, but I had some other people that were pretty good too. Like, look, backhanded compliment stage where they're intentionally kind of like provoking you to be like, "Hey, are you what? What did you just say? Repeat that." And then it's like, the next stage is, uh, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have had a meltdown in public if you would have just done what I said. And now you are useless. You are just a You should have never been born. No wonder everything you've ever done is a failure. Like, look, it's just like the all out explosion phase. And then they come back. Oh, I'm so sorry, and I miss you. I missed this person who tolerated so much abuse from me, and they allowed me to get this freaking passenger seat control, this backseat driver mentality, and this vicarious voyeurism of your life, and all your fucking energy vampiring, and dude, extracting of information and attention, needy. Like, look, and these people are literally like those. Woe unto them who go house to house and declaring things that they ought not. Like other little gossipers, man, little pot stirrers. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Little name dropping, dry snitching. Look, sowing discord amongst brethren. Look, trying to get something for nothing. Trying to take, like give just a little bit, but with the intentions to come in and take. And it's like, and as if you're entitled to all that. And it's like, watch, these people are just getting. It's like first it was like a real heavy wind in the face. Like you ever seen those where the girls get their skirts blown up? It's like they got hit with one of those. Then a rain bomb came and got their hair wet. And then a car drove by and mud went psh, and then a lightning bolt like singed their hair, and then the earthquake goes like this and steals their shoes, and all their change falls out of their pocket, and all their gold and their jewelry and their makeup bag falls down in the ground, and then you see what's left of them, and it's like it's really sad, like a person who's like an addict who's just like is starving of its life source, which is this kind of this attention, this control, this supply, this artificial illusionary feeling of power, and that they can get away with it, that they're that good, just this ego trip, right? And dude, it's like you don't have to call CPS on them, you don't have to key their car, you don't have to gossip back and hope like something bad happens down the road. You know what I'm saying? You stay away from them. Just keep it moving. I mean, you don't have to be mean or anything, but just be like, keep it brief, minimal contact, and like, look, and it's just like, and after you stop enabling them, it's so obvious to understand what's really going on.